In every shadow a secret waits, in every trail something watches. Welcome to Eerie Trails, where every path leads to darkness, and no story is just a story. Turn down the lights, and open your mind if you dare. They say the old Highway 191 cuts through some of the most forgotten parts of West Texas, land so dry and empty, it feels like God himself blinked and missed it. Out past Odessa, where the air turns gritty and the sun burns your skin raw before noon, there's a stretch of road that locals call the Devil's Spine. It's long, lonely, and lined with the scorched skeletons of mesquite trees. But somewhere along that stretch, just before the hills rise toward the Pecos, sits a rusted-out shell of a yellow school bus. The windows are gone, the paint's peeled off in sheets, and inside there's nothing but sun-bleached seats and dust, or so it seems. No one will go near it now. Not even the drifters. I heard about the bus from a guy named Hoyt who ran a 2-pump gas station near McCamey. He was the kind of man who looked like he'd spent his life drinking motor oil and chewing sand, but he had a way of talking that made you lean in close. I'd stopped there on a drive to El Paso, just looking to stretch my legs and grab a bottle of water, when I noticed a black and white photo pinned behind the counter. It showed a school bus parked on the shoulder of a desolate road, kids standing outside in neat rows. Their faces looked wrong, blurred, almost smudged, like someone had tried to erase them. "That's the haunted bus," Hoyt said, catching me staring. "You seen it?" I shook my head. "Where is it?" He just chuckled, low and slow. "Hope you never do." Naturally, that meant I had to find it. I drove the Devil's Spine that evening, engine humming steady, the air outside cooling but still, thick with dust and gnats. The land was dead flat for miles, nothing but scrub brush and barbed wire fence. I passed a rotting windmill, a collapsed barn, and what looked like a coyote carcass bloated and hard under the setting sun. I was almost ready to give up when I spotted it in my rearview mirror, not ahead of me, but behind. Just barely at the edge of the road, a yellow glint. The school bus. I turned around slowly, wheels kicking up a halo of dust. The bus hadn't been there 5 minutes earlier. I was sure of it as I pulled up beside it, my headlights washed over the flaking paint. The number 23 was stenciled above the driver's side door, but the digits were warped, like the metal had been melted and reshaped. The windows were black, not empty, but like looking into tar. I killed the engine, letting the silence creep in. I don't know what made me get out. Curiosity, probably. Stupidity, maybe. The air smelled like old iron and burnt plastic. When I stepped closer, I noticed something strange. The dust on the ground around the bus was undisturbed. No tire tracks, no footprints. Like it had been placed there, untouched by time or weather. I climbed the first step. The door was open. Not wide, but just enough to slip inside. The moment I did, the temperature dropped. A cold so deep it felt like it was seeping into my bones. My breath steamed in the air, even though it had to be 85 degrees outside. The bus was dark, shadows clinging to the walls despite the sunlight bleeding through the broken windows. The seats were ripped and sagging, their foam guts exposed. Each row had something carved into the vinyl. Names, mostly, but some were just numbers. Weird little shapes, too. Spirals, eyes, stars with too many points. I started walking toward the back, passing each seat slow. That's when I heard it whispering faint at first, then louder. Dozens of voices layered on top of one another like overlapping. Radio stations. I couldn't make out words, just the hiss and tremble of breathless murmurs. I turned, heart thudding, but saw nothing. The aisle was empty. Then the smell hit me, wet earth, mildew, and something worse. Rotting meat. My stomach flipped. I looked back toward the front, ready to leave, when I caught a glimpse of something in the rearview mirror above the driver's seat. Face small, pale, eyes black as oil. I spun around. Nothing. I walked back. Down the aisle fast, boots clunking on the metal floor. Just as I reached the steps, the door slammed shut. No wind, no driver. Just the door, locking me in. The whispering turned to screaming. It wasn't angry. It was pleading. Voices begging. Crying, calling for help. Some in English, others in Spanish, one or two in words I couldn't recognize at all. The bus began to shudder. The floor pulsed like it was breathing. I fell against a seat, clawing at the door, but it wouldn't budge. Then the windows began to fog over, writing appearing in the condensation, finger trails sketching out names, phrases, symbols, blood red. We never made IT. Let US off, they burned. And one, larger than the rest. You're next. Then came the sound of children. Not voices, footsteps. Tiny shoes slapping against metal, coming down the aisle behind me. I turned, trembling, but the aisle was empty. Then a hand, cold, thin, and impossibly strong, clamped down on my shoulder. I screamed, twisting away, and fell out of the bus onto the gravel. The sunlight was gone. It had only been 10 minutes, but night had swallowed. The land like a curtain falling. I scrambled to my feet, heart jackhammering, and turned back to the bus, but it was gone. Just gone. No dust trail, no tire marks, nothing. I drove for 2 hours straight before stopping. I didn't speak of what happened for nearly a year. Eventually, I did some digging. Found an old newspaper from 1972. A school bus from Upton County went missing during a dust storm. 23 children aboard, plus a driver. They were headed to a field trip in San Angelo. Never arrived, never found. No bodies, no wreckage. Just vanished. People said the wind must have swept them off the road into some ravine. But folks around here, they say the bus still rides the spine on quiet nights, that it's looking for the destination it never reached. And if you see it, if you enter it, a piece of you never leaves. They also say those who ride the haunted bus don't die the usual way. They vanish, disappear from their lives like they were never there to begin with. Records erased, homes emptied, photographs faded. Like the bus takes you out of time, just like it did with those kids. I still dream of it sometimes. The door closing. Behind me, the whispering. The names on the windows. And sometimes I wake up with dust in my mouth, sunburn on my skin, the smell of burning plastic in my hair, like I never really left.